Weekly self-defense analysis videos, and today I'm going to be talking to you about karate and how effective it is for self-defense. I'm going to be looking over the cases where it works, and then I'm going to give you the cases where it doesn't work, so you get an idea of how effective it is. So first case, we have a mother and daughter duo who use karate to fight off assailants. I'm going to read it to you. Um, North Oxford woman, and her mother were viciously stabbed during a brazen daylight carjacking in Connecticut Thursday, but the duo, who own a Auburn karate studio, didn't go down without a fight and say their years of martial arts training may have saved their lives. I can literally go through every single reaction my body made when I was fighting back and know which instructor taught it to me, said the 32-year-old Barbie McCoy, who's been practicing karate since the age of 4. I heard their voices in my head. And that's pretty much it. So you can see that her hand is injured. Got stitches. Police were there. So in this particular case, I don't know if they saw it coming, but based on what this article says, probably not, because if they, if they did see it coming, um, they wouldn't have probably wouldn't have put themselves in that position. But let's assume that, okay, they did see it coming. Notice how they were stabbed multiple times, and if you look at the demonstrations in many karate knife disarms, you usually see one person take a lunge and the other person disarms him or her, and just does a wrist lock or some memorized movement, and then takes the knife away. Clearly, this shows that that's completely unrealistic. Um, and no flashy knife disarm worked in this case. Um, Despite them surviving, I mean, two against one person, maybe I don't know how many people, but um, it doesn't really say. It just says it's multiple people evens the odds. So keep that in mind. You can survive, but if your training doesn't work, who knows how well you'll do the next time you get attacked. Next case. I have no doubt I broke his nose and ribs. Karate black belt. Um, Turns the tables on skinhead rapist who attacked her from behind on a dark street. Urges all women to learn martial arts. Talia Davis was attacked from behind near her home in broad daylight. She says attacker punched her, pinned her down, and tried to lift her shirt. She kneed him in the groin and ribs and headbutted him. She encourages women everywhere to learn self-defense skills. 25-year-old woman who fought off a sexual predator by kneeing him in the groin and ribs and headbutting him is urging women everywhere to learn self-defense. Uh, she was attacked by a man near her home, broad daylight. Her attacker, who she described as a 180 centimeter tall man in his late 20s to early 30s with a buzz cut, surprised her from behind, tackling her and punching her in the head before pinning her to the ground. Here you can see her injury. And yeah, see there? Scroll down. Cracked ribs, right there. Concussion, some bruising. I had both my headphones in as I was walking down the sidewalk that led to the main road when I was tackled from behind by someone. He used the momentum of my turn against me and flipped me onto my back and jumped on top of me, sort of straddling me. He was holding me down on the ground and basically tried to take my top off, pulling at my top. It was at this point that adrenaline kicked in for Miss Davis, sorry, replacing fear and channeling the skills she learned in her 15 years of karate training. I thought, I don't want to be another statistics of a female who gets attacked when they're out, and I made a decision then to fight back. The second Dan black belt said, I managed to get one of my legs free and kick him with my knee, and was able to make him lose his balance and kick him off me. Then I turned around to run away, and he grabbed my ankles. Let's see. More injuries. Let's see. I realized that no matter how much I tried, he wasn't going to stop, and that was the moment I thought I'm going to have to try to hurt him as much as possible. So I turned around and tried to get my body weight behind me. I punched him in the face and made his nose bleed, but that didn't really do much as I had hoped. He grabbed both of my arms, so I couldn't hit him again. So I ended up headbutting him, which was really painful, but with my karate training, we are told to find an opening. Then I managed to get some distance between us and decided to knee him in the groin and ribs repeatedly. Her yelling soon caught the attention of a passerby, whose appearance spooked her attacker, causing him to flee. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so here's what's wrong with this case. Um, First of all, is a lack of situational awareness. When you're walking down the street, you can't be distracted. You know, having the headphones on it can be a great distraction, and not knowing, you know, what potential threats might potentially be out there. It's also a flaw in the karate training. You know, karate is not going to help you um, understand how to be aware of your surroundings. That's the first mistake, um, because you only have limited reaction time and distance. So that's why she got hit, because she wasn't aware of her surroundings repeatedly. Um, and the second thing that was wrong with this case was the guy pinned her to the ground, and he prevented her from pretty much attacking. So um, you could clearly see that once you got taken, get taken down on the ground, and you can't attack. Um, that's pretty much a flaw with the training, because I don't know what style uh, this kind of karate is. It doesn't really say. Um, I don't think, but clearly you can see that uh, the attacker is not going to mess around. He's not going to just um, give in and whatnot. Um, she tried hitting him, but that didn't even that just um, had no effect. As even she admitted that it had no effect, and that's a problem, because it shows that karate attacks lack power. Um, so she got lucky because somebody else intervened, and that scared off the rapist. If that didn't happen, who knows? Who knows if she would have survived? Um, but yeah, I mean, keep that in mind. So, but I mean, I do give her credit for for reacting and responding with groin strikes, and just targeting his weak spots and stuff like that. So of course that's going to be effective. Um, so next case, brave Karnataka girl uses karate skills to fight off assailant. In a rare display of courage, a college girl fended off a man who had allegedly tried to rape her using her karate skills, and managed to reach home despite suffering severe face injuries at the hand of the attacker. The incident took place in uh, central Karnataka when the 19-year-old victim was on her way back home around 9:30 p.m. after rehearsing for New Year celebrations at her college. Police sources say the accused, Prithvi, was known to the girl, who was a first-year student of BCA at a private college. According to police, intercepted the girl while she was walking homeward with her sister from the campus. He told the victim's sister that he wanted to talk to her about something and would drop her home later. He took her to a desolated place behind Puji Auditorium and proposed to her, to which she refused. Enraged, he tried to rape her. When he tried to rape her, she put up a fight and punched him several times. He pushed her to the ground. Before she could get up, he smashed her head with a big stone. The left side of the victim's face was badly injured. Her jawbone was fractured and she started bleeding profusely. Seeing her plight, the accused escaped from the spot with a motorbike. The victim managed to regain balance and reached home. Her horrified parents immediately admitted her to a nearby hospital where she's undergoing treatment. A complaint, okay. And that's pretty much it. So right there, I mean, the article says, the title says that she fought off her assailant, but that's not actually what happened here. She got beat up, in other words. Um, it's clear, like, you can see here that, she probably landed some attacks, but overall, she was on the ground and just beat up. Um, let's see. Okay, this is the first mistake. Um, um, not she wasn't, from what it seems like, she wasn't really aware of this guy's intentions. Usually, um, when someone has a toxic masculinity problem, there's signs of it being present even before an attack. Um, so again, karate doesn't help you with that. Doesn't help you with situational awareness. So, um, but I mean, you can't really get that from this article. So, um, it's not really easy to see. Um, okay, so he tried to rape her. She punched him several times. And again, I think karate, some styles, they lack grappling skills. So that's why she got pushed to the ground. Um, and again, weapons. He smashed her head with a big stone before she could get up. Um, so yeah, right there, obviously you could see the lack of training, lack of realistic training when it comes to weapons in karate. And you could see how fast that ended. Um, so there we go with that case. But we already looked over that. Okay. Okay, so in this case, there was a guy, Jeff Dossett, I can't pronounce that name. He was a karate instructor, and according to this, the the victim, well, actually, the family member of the victim, um, says as Dossett was escorted through the airport, he passed the television crew who were taping the scene. He then walked past Plauché can't pronounce that, who took out his gun and fired a single shot directly at the right side of his head, point blank range. He immediately fell to the floor and placed the gun down as officers restrained him. And the guy died the next day. Um, I can't show the video because of copyright reasons, but if you watch it, you clearly see that the karate instructor was not aware of his surroundings, and that's why he got shot. Again, no situational awareness training in karate. Um, so next case. Suspected hired killer charged. Tulsa first-degree murder charge has been filed against the former Tulsa art teacher, alleging the teacher was paid $5,000 to kill a broken arrow karate instructor in 1981. District Attorney David Moss said. Okay. Moss says the charge alleges Dial was hired by one or more people to kill Kelly Dean Hogan. 28-year owner of International Taekwondo Center in Broken Arrow, known as in custody. Hogan was shot once in the chest with a .38 caliber automatic handgun after opening the front door of his house around 10 p.m. on September 16, 1981. Police investigating the killing said Hogan's wife, who overheard this conversation with a man who came to the door, ran to a neighbor's house after the shooting. Hogan ran through the house and collapsed in the garage, investigators said. Gunmen demanded to know the whereabouts of a Patty Thomas. So yeah, right there again, the only way that you're going to deal with this situation is by having situational awareness and knowing who you're messing with, knowing who your enemy is or who could potentially be your enemy, because as you can see, gun attacks happen very quick, and there's no room for flashy moves and stuff like that. Next case. Karate expert fearing rape outside Fort Far Club escaped after kicking wannabe attackers in the balls. Let's see. Karate expert fearing rape when she was pinned down by two men after a night out made a brave escape by kicking them in the balls. Traumatized woman was pounced on and thrown to the ground walking home from a nightclub. The men were spotted loitering near the woman outside the World nightclub. Muhammad Islam and Chibab Smikramudin, both illegal immigrants, facing lengthy jail terms after being convicted of the chilling assault. The pair were caught on CCTV loitering near the woman outside the town's World nightclub. Their victim told court she saw one of the men staring at her, but headed off along the Angus town's high street in the direction of her home. CCTV picked them up, tailing her around 300 yards behind her as they walked. Traumatized woman told how moments later Islam approached and asked if she wanted to be walked home. As she was distracted, the other guy pounced from behind, knocking her to the ground and pinning her down. She landed a series of blows, punching and headbutting the man, and in her words, kicking him in the balls. She broke free and fled. Um, okay, so again, um, no situational awareness, and they clearly showed signs that they were going to plan something. Uh, as one guy was staring at her, and they were following her. Also a bad sign in this kind of situation. Um, and then one guy distracted her, and then the other guy took her down, and they both pretty much took her down, and they were grappling, so they weren't really attacking her. So that's why she was able to land those blows. So in that case, if you hit your guy in the balls and whatever, then yeah, it's gonna hurt. Um, so give her that credit at least. And but really, the mistake is not being on guard. Um, and that's pretty much it for that case. Now we got another one: guilty plea in slaying of karate instructor. Attorney for Angela Dearman said she was suffering from severe depression when she shot and killed popular Decatur karate instructor Wilburn Posey King 3 years ago. She tried to kill herself a number of times due to debilitating stage of depression, said John Mays. 3 mental evaluations were done on her and yielded that she was severely mentally disturbed, did not fit the legal definition of insanity. So she pleaded guilty, and says here she couldn't hold a job because of her severe state of depression. She wasn't able to function in society. She was involuntarily committed 3 times. Sorry, basically because she was a self-mutilator. She would cut herself with knives and razors, and her favorite thing to do was burn herself with cigarettes. They found King dead in his business. He was sitting in his office chair. Uh, Dearman was upset over a disagreement with the victim. Dearman's son was one of King's students when the killing occurred. And yeah, so right there, again, lack of situational awareness. There's signs that that she was mentally unstable, mentally ill. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big threat there. Um, and again, no training in weapons, no training in dealing with firearms and stuff like that. So I'm going to the next case. Girl 12 raped during karate class. 2 martial arts instructors are facing charges of sexually touching and sexual penetration of a 12-year-old girl while she was attending a class in South Trinidad last month. Police said the instructors, both age 16, operated out of the village's community center. According to a report, the girl and her brother 8 attended class 2 weeks ago. When one of the instructors asked her for a kiss, after the girl kissed him, he allegedly went to brag to his colleague. The second instructor then followed the girl into the washroom, where she had gone to wash her hands. He reportedly then took off his clothes and had sex with her on a chair. The girl's brother, who became curious when he did not see her for several minutes, was given push-ups and other routines performed by the other instructor as a distraction. The incident only came to light last week after the girl was banned from using her mobile phone. Police were told during the week she reportedly stayed at home while her mother went to work. Her mother left her with a phone in case of emergency. Her mother returned home early that day and noticed the girl was running into her bedroom with the phone in her hand. As the mother peeped into the room, she saw the girl having a conversation on the phone with someone. The girl's father then arrived and took the girl to his home. So he searched through her phone, saw an Instagram message from someone who expressed being upset that he did not get to have sex with her. Also, a message from the same instructor asking the girl if she had experienced her menstrual cycle since their intercourse. The father and mother took the girl to Gasparillo police station, where she was then taken to the Marbella Health Center, where it was proven she was sexually active. Uh, so yeah, as you can see there, it's pretty unrealistic to expect a little kid to defend against, you know, grown men, and it's also unrealistic to expect kids to always have to defend against other kids. Um, and here, I mean, this girl, even though she knew karate, she was completely defenseless in this situation. So pretty much, the parents were the ones who were responsible for protecting her. Um, and again, no situational awareness. Um, potential abusers, they have signs of they emit signs of an attack. Usually before it happens. So you have to watch out for that. Um, Next case. This is a case of a karate champion who got murdered in his own nightclub. And this is surveillance footage of several robbers who came in and they were destroying his nightclub. Take a look. And here's the article that goes along with that. Another suspect had been arrested today in connection with the killing of the nightclub owner in Anuradhapura. Earlier, six more suspects had been arrested in connection with the killing of the nightclub owner. Um, let's see. It says that he was stabbed to death. Um, and I think another YouTube video said that he was hacked to pieces. I don't know if that's true or not, but as you can see there, no realistic um, training against multiple attackers. In karate training, you usually see, these unrealistic scenarios where you got one guy who comes in, and then another guy, and another guy, and they're all trained in the same style. That's obviously not the case here, you know. Especially when they have weapons and stuff like that, and long range weapons, and and you saw how they gave repeated strikes and stuff like that. So next case, karate black belt a minute from death after being stabbed in leg protecting girlfriend London night bus scuffle. Karate instructor left 1 minute from death after being stabbed in the leg on neighbors on night bus. Sorry, today thanks quick thinking policewoman for saving his life. He intended to protect his girlfriend when a scuffle broke out. He used his martial arts training to calm the fracas, but then felt a warm and wet feeling in his leg from what he believed had been a punch. In fact, it was a stab wound from a 5-inch blade which severed his femoral artery. He said, I looked down and there was intensive bleeding. I shouted for an ambulance and started pushing my thigh. Within 20 seconds, the woman police officer was on the bus and pushed all her weight down on my leg to save my life. She did everything she could to keep me alive and even came to the hospital with me. I'm thankful for both of them. So you can see the wound right here. So yeah, um, again, no situational awareness. Look how he didn't even see the knife coming, and also no verbal de-escalation, which would have been an appropriate response in this situation. When when uh when you're dealing with multiple people who are getting in an argument or whatnot, you have to know how to either avoid the situation or de-escalate it with words or and other communication skills. Just learning karate is not enough to do that. Um, we're going with this last case of Meredith Kircher of the infamous Amanda Knox case. So, uh, as the case says, she was in Italy. She took classes in dance and soccer and karate, and according to the case, she was a friend of Amanda Knox. It was a very controversial case, and according to the case, she was pretty much, um, if you study the case, she was stabbed to death um, by two people, Amanda Knox probably, um, and another guy, and she died with a slit throat. So again, no situational awareness, and no effective means of dealing with weapons and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, you can do the research yourself and look at how many cases karate fails compared to the cases where it works. So I even heard some karate black belts got knocked out in several street altercations. So as you can see, there's more cases when karate fails than when it succeeds. Weapons, um, multiple attackers, lack of situational awareness are all problems that karate can't help you with. Um, and eventually, those things, because of that lack of training for modern day self defense, karate is going to get you hurt, it's going to get you beaten, and probably going to get you killed. More than likely, it will in an actual street attack. Um, so it's best to learn actual self defense, a modern based self defense system where weapons and all the things that I just mentioned are addressed. Um, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you want to learn self-defense, if you want to learn a modern-based system, then please check out my Fiverr gig below. And I got a free lesson available if you request it. And with that, I'll see you later.